West Virginia has to travel to Fort Worth, Texas to take on the TCU Horned Frogs as we get ready to start the second half of Big 12 basketball season. And I'm here by my friend Clint Foster, who's a TCU content creator and fan. We're going to talk a little bit of hoops on this show. We're going to talk West Virginia versus TCU. TCU 11-10 on the season overall, 4-6 in Big 12 play. West Virginia coming in at 14-7 overall, and even 5-5 in the conference. Clint, first off, what's up, brother?
Going good. You know, it's funny because I want to share with the people how you sent me a DM. You're like, hey, do you follow basketball, TCU basketball? And I said, unfortunately, yes. Yeah. So the night has gotten a little less exciting now that I'm talking about Frogs hoops and not women's hoops, unfortunately. Women are doing great.
Yeah. It's you'd be surprised how many people are not really that. Our football fans that may not be basketball fans. So I've always got to ask the question.
Yeah.
Before I bring somebody on a show, I want to make sure that they actually give a damn. But anyway.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I do. Anyway,
let's dive in, man. TCU, not obviously had much higher expectations, I think, coming into the season. What has went wrong there in TCU, in your opinion?
Well, it's one of those things where it's difficult in this era of college sports and with the transfer portal. It's a lot of people just want to be able to plug and play, right? You just add all of these disparate pieces and throw them in a pot together and just something magical is going to come out. And it just doesn't always work that way, right? There's a lot of good individual pieces, a lot of good young pieces on this TCU team. And I think what it really comes down to is they just haven't had the ability to gel into that cohesive unit. And, for TCU basketball fans, it's been a situation where after several years here of what's been, frankly, generational success for us. You're just making the tournament consistently. That's not something that TCU fans have been able to enjoy much in the last forever, But here, all of a sudden now, this season feels more like one of the Trent Johnson years or early Jamie Dixon season where it's just like, well, we're scrappy. We might give you a tough game, particularly at home. We might give you a tough game, but we're going to lose more than we're going to win. And sometimes those losses are going to be pretty daggum frustrating.
Yeah. Has there been any injuries or anything TCU's had to deal with this year that have caused them any problems, or is it mainly just
only one? Frankie Collins got hurt fairly early on in the season. He was a big guard transfer out of Arizona State, and so that was definitely a significant injury. But also the Frogs weren't playing really consistently with him either. So it's
I got you. So as for the West Virginia fans listening out there, what does TCU do well that West Virginia fans need to be on the lookout for?
Well, if you want to look at one player, it's Ernest Udeh, right? Ernest Udeh, who's been with the Frogs. I think this is his second or third year with the Frogs. He's our big presence in the paint. He's a guy who crashes the boards really well. He's got 150 rebounds on the season. 57 of those are offensive rebounds. And he's really effective down there. But, one big man does not a team make. I will say keep your eye out for David Punch. That's a young guy that TCU fans are excited about for the future, as well as Noah Reynolds. Both of them have started almost every single game this year. Punch is another guy. He's a forward, 92 rebounds on the year, and he actually shoots, 50%, obviously, from the field because a lot of those are in pretty close. But Noah Reynolds, he's more of a shooter type, right? Pull-up jump shooter type guy. And, so, I don't know. I mean, come on. West Virginia is back to playing really, really great basketball. Who should West Virginia fans be worried about? I mean, nobody. You should be worried about nobody.
Come on now. Come on. Noah Reynolds was averaging 12.4 points and 3.4 assists.
Noah Reynolds is exciting for the future. Vashana Lett could be exciting for the future. Trezarian White shows flashes. I mean, it's not like these guys are scrubs. I mean, they could, they could beat me, but it's just, it's one of those years, man. It's just not, we got beat by UCF. I don't know what you want me to say.
Poor UCF.
Yeah.
Poor UCF. As I look through here, it looks like you guys, you got Noah Reynolds playing 31.3 minutes. Collins is playing 31 minutes. you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys playing 25 minutes plus.
Mhm.
It looks like you guys may have a similar issue. Well, I don't know. You got a lot more depth than West Virginia does, but still doesn't look like you have a ton based on the minutes I'm looking at here.
Yeah, not really.
7-man. What you got? A 7-8-man rotation?
Yeah, because you'll see Isaiah Manning pretty much every game. You see Jace Posey pretty much every game, and Michael Robinson. Michael Robinson is he's been probably the most significant piece off of the bench. But yeah, I mean the offense. The offense really goes through Noah Reynolds as far as scoring is concerned, but also if you've watched Jamie Dixon at all, and West Virginia fans, I know you have. I mean, this isn't an offense that's going to shock you with the way they move the ball. It's just a lot of just passing it around the key. And eventually, you try and force something inside and then, oh God, we've run out the clock. Better throw something up. Right. This team has showed flashes on defense, but it hasn't gelled. Right. It just the pieces, it shows flashes, but it's not this is one of the, and I hate saying it because I hate putting it out over the internet and these are kids and everything, but this is one of the worst TCU basketball teams I've seen since Jamie Dixon has been here, if not the worst since Jamie Dixon has been here. And it doesn't mean they're not talented, but it means they're not there yet.
Well, are they young? I mean,
a lot of them are young. Yeah. And I don't have all of their classes sitting in front of me, but I know David Punch is a freshman. Noah Reynolds, I'm quite sure is young. Several of these guys are transfers. I know Trezarian White and Frankie Collins and Vashon Alette are all transfers. Ernest Uday is he's the elder statesman on the team. Kansas transfer originally.
Right. I remember. Yeah. Unfortunately, I remember him.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. But it's a lot of youth and a lot of just haven't had the minutes playing together.
Just not clicking.
Yeah. And maybe if we weren't in the Big 12, maybe it'd be okay. Right. I mean, we lost some tough games out of conference to Colorado State. And I know there was another out of conference game that slipped in my mind that was a team that we should not have lost to, but we're just not the Big 12. Here's the deal. Big 12 is the best basketball conference in the nation. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. And you can't have a mediocre team and expect to compete in the Big 12. And that's really just where we're at.
Yeah. One last question. I'll let you out of here. Is Jamie Dixon on the hot seat, you think?
No. I mean, some TCU fans would have you believe that he is. But here's the thing, man. He's a TCU alum. He's brought TCU unparalleled success on the hardwood. I mean, nobody has taken to TCU to more NCAA tournament appearances more consistently. We won the freaking NIT his first or second year here.
Right.
I mean, no. Anybody who tells you Jamie Dixon's on the hot seat, they need to have their brain examined because as frustrating as seasons like this are, and as frustrating as last year's first round exit from the tournament is, you gotta understand as a TCU fan what your situation is, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you don't want to continue to achieve and continue to improve as a program, but we have essentially no basketball history. Our basketball history is Kurt Thomas and then Jamie Dixon hitting a half-court shot, against Texas in the 80s. That's our entire basketball history. So, and now Desmond Bane, right? Who is another Jamie Dixon piece. So, I mean, Jamie Dixon is he's almost like our Gary Patterson of basketball, just he hasn't reached that pinnacle yet. I don't think there's any way that you can move on from him. But it will be interesting, though, now that we do have a new athletic director, if he's going to have a shorter leash or what that looks like moving forward. But he's not on the hot seat right now as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Looking here, obviously, West Virginia. Wow. They actually have TCU as a favorite here.
That is shocking.
ESPN has TCU as a 54.1% chance to win.
Wow.
In the matchup predictor with West Virginia at 45.9. So that I was not expecting. I was getting ready to say West Virginia's favored, and then I actually saw the graphic, and I was like, wait a minute, I got to back up.
Surprise me. I mean, I will say this: TCU's coming off a big win against Colorado. That was probably the best the team has looked all year.
Okay.
And I want to pull up that score actually so I can talk about it. Yeah, TCU. Wait a minute. Oh, that's our football game. I was like, hold up. That's a really low score for a basketball game. It was the Travis Hunter game. TCU basketball versus Colorado.
It was 68-57.
Yeah, 68-57. There it is. So the team is, that was our first win. We were on a 3-game schneid, before we broke the losing streak.
Right.
So
so were we.
Yeah. So the team's playing with a little momentum right now. And Noah Reynolds had himself a good game. David Punch had a pair of threes and 11 points. So both Noah Reynolds and David Punch had 11 points in that game. Young guys contributing. And again, Colorado's not great, but a win's a win.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so Noah Reynolds is a senior. I'm sorry about that. He's one of our transfers.
No worries.
Dude,
it's hard to keep track, brother.
It's hard being a college athletics fan these days. Like, who are you?
I shouldn't have even asked you the question because who the hell knows?
Yeah,
anyway,
right.
But no worries. Really quick, man, where can fans find you and your work before I let you out of here?
Yeah, so check me out on Twitter at Clint_Foster55. If you're into anything TCU related or Big 12 related, or just into the Schadenfreude of watching me mourn the loss of the greatest player in the NBA going to Los Angeles for reasons, go check that out on X at Big 12 BOCFB. I got my biggest 12 show about all things Big 12 college football, and at Clint_Foster50. At Clint Foster Comedy. That is my my personal YouTube channel.
Real quick, what's your score prediction for the game?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're going to win this one. I bet y'all take it. We'll say 64-58.
I like it. That's about where I'm at too. I think it'll be, I think West Virginia's in between 60 to 65. I'm gonna say 65. I'm gonna say 65-60.
All right.
So I'm in the same range as you. West Virginia likes to keep the games low scoring. So
yep.
Is TCU going to keep? Do they want to get out and run, or do they want to keep it slow? What do they like?
Well, historically, we've really tried to push the tempo and all that, but we're also not scoring as effectively as we have in the past.
Right.
So, it's really, I don't know that we really have a go-to mode. I think it's very conditional on the opponent and the situation.
Okay. Makes sense.
But historically, we push the tempo.
Got it. Okay. Well, Clint, thanks again for coming on the show, man. Everybody go check out Clint's work. I'm going to let him go because he has a show to do. And everybody don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Also go subscribe to Clint's channels. And we will see you later. Oh, and Q Country Roads. Can't forget that.
Move a porums and prayers and